Hello everyone, a very warm welcome from So Too High. I am Aditi and today I have a very special guest with me, Praveen Ramachandran. Praveen has worked in corporates for more than 25 years and is now giving his whole and soul in reviving Indian traditional archery. He is the founder at Archers Club, located in Trivandrum, Kerala. The Archers Club is a venue focused on the revival and teaching of traditional Indian archery. A very warm welcome, Praveen, at So Too High.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting me to speak about this. Yeah,
and thank you for taking out your precious time and coming up and sharing your journey. It would be really interesting, I know. And I want my viewers to stay connected till the end and listen to all his experiences and his journey. Praveen, tell me when and why did you take up Indian traditional archery?
to get to that, Aditi, I need to clarify on what exactly is the difference between Indian traditional archery and
Yeah.
modern archery. There are
Mhm.
when I started off 15 years ago,
Okay.
more than 15 years ago. And I took it up when I was working in Dubai.
Mhm.
And I happened to pass by a shooting club and I went in and the first time. But the thing is, I think archery, the interest towards archery has always been there for me because as a child, like probably all of you, we grew up in stories of what you call the Puranas, and we grew up in stories. In my case, the time it
Yeah,
was my
yeah.
grandmother's stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata, and things like that. And you, as a child, is walking around with this self-made bow and arrow, and pretending to be Arjuna, Rama, etc.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try that out, and I went out there, shot a few arrows, and I found out that I have a natural affinity towards it. And I found in that time I thought that wow, I'm a good archer. But then, as I met people, I found out that that's the same with almost everybody. You shoot an arrow,
Okay.
and then you'll find that instinctively you
Mm-hmm.
you have an affinity towards it. So coming back to what we were asking, I took it up 15 years ago, and the place was in Sharjah. And what interested me, the archery that interested me, was the archery I was introduced. That is like a simple bow and arrow. That is called the traditional archery. That does not
Okay.
have your sights and stabilizers and all that kind of stuff. I was
Mm-hmm.
never interested in that. It didn't draw me. I kind of stayed with the traditional archery, and then went into it on a full scale. I mean, like I got totally obsessed with it. I mean, like so
Okay.
that's where.
Yeah. So professionally, what was the idea of taking archery as a profession?
Yeah, well, I would not I would not call that a profession. Like
Okay.
if there is a when we talk about a profession means like
Mm-hmm.
something that you earn money from, isn't it? I mean,
Okay.
like that, would you be willing to call say that? Um, well, I studied hotel management. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I worked in the airlines, um, and then I went on to work in my family business, which is a printing press. You know,
Okay.
so I think professions come to you. You know, the ability to make money out of something that you love
Mm-hmm.
it will be a very good thing. I mean, I would not call that. No, I would not call archery as my profession. No, I
Okay. It's
would
not.
I would no, I would not call that a profession. I mean, it is more
It's
something that I'm
passion.
so passionate interested about, and I would love, um, when you know something or when you're curious about something, and
Mm-hmm.
when you are interested in something, the beauty of that is when you share it with somebody. You
Yes.
know, so I would call it that. I'm right now. It's my passion. And I
Okay.
want to share it with people. That's basically what
Lovely.
it is.
Lovely. What made you start with your own archery club, like which is one of its kind in India? If you could just brief me about the archery club that you are setting up.
It is, yeah. It's not. I don't think it's one of the kind, but I think as an archers club,
Mm-hmm.
the what I'm focusing upon is Indian traditional archery. I wanted to come to that because traditional archery is basically uh, there is two different schools of archery. There are more, but basically one is what we know is the modern Olympic archery, which is about it's more stationary. You know, the target is fixed, and you have the stabilizer, you have the sights to shoot the target. But in traditional archery, it's more dynamic. It was a skill set which was required for your survival.
Okay.
Archery is 50,000 years old, perhaps even more. You know, and it's a very simple technique. It's a simple physics for sending a projectile. You know, using a string and a piece of wood. It's very simple. So I wanted the Indian traditional archery, because what I found out when I got interested in archery, and I like the simplicity of it. It suited a person like me. When I started doing it, I found out that traditional archery exists in Japan. Japanese has got the Yumi. It exists in Mongolia, okay, in China, and it's kept in Bhutan, very close to us. It's this one, and Meghalaya. Meghalaya has got their archery, traditional archery, which they still maintain. Okay.
Okay.
You have the of course you have the English longbow, etc., which was still maintained.
Yeah.
But when I came to, and I wanted to do the kind of archery what Rama and Arjuna wanted to do, I wanted to study about Indian archery. And I came to a complete block, because there seemed to be absolutely nothing out there. You know, nothing out there for me to learn. You know, so wherever I've gone to, where people I have spoken to, etc., I found out that this scenario has not been explored.
Okay.
So for me, going into Indian traditional archery was a method by which I can revive whatever is remaining. You know, and the Indian traditional archery is there in the tribal areas. There are 14 to 15 tribes in India who are still archers.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I wanted to revive the traditional method of shooting, which is very simple. You know, it is accessible to all. It does not require that kind of prohibitive cost of the equipment. It is something that anybody can take up and and run with it. Like, and that it was part of our culture. And by doing that, I'm hoping that more and more people will get interested in it, and it also sustains a skill set that will soon die off. You know?
Yeah.
So so I wanted to retain that. I wanted to record it, and I wanted to revive it. I think that is 3 hours.
So,
That's what I wanted to do. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you have a lovely background. If you could tell me something about it, and some archery set also, I can sense that you have it ready with you. If you could show me that.
Yeah. This particular seating is very intentional. So behind me are the bows. I mean, these are all the different kinds of bows. This is my collection, basically. I have more. For the Archers Club, what I have done is, like, I have picked up the bows and arrows from the Kuruchiya tribe of Kerala.
Okay.
So it's all traditional bamboo bow, which is being picked up. I will just show you one.
Yeah, please.
It's a simple stick. You know? It's a simple bamboo, this one, and the traditional 3 arrows of those tribes are these.
Wow.
And this is motte ambal, which is basically for shooting birds. This is for fishing. So once you shoot, it hooks and it detaches itself and floats. Okay, and this is called katti amba, which is, if you can see it, it's kind of a spear sharp arrowhead out there. And of course, this is just for your info. But when we are teaching archery, I would say it is probably this kind of an arrow that we will be using. That is like with a field tip, this one made out of bamboo. And the fletches are made out of feathers. You know, it's beautiful. So this is basically the traditional method of archery that I'm trying to keep. You know, so the whole equipment, it is the simplicity of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now, this is my bow.
Wow.
Yeah, this is my bow. It's a traditional recurve bow.
Yeah.
When I say recurve, means like the limbs actually bend.
Okay.
You know, it actually bends, and it's a recurve bow. It is called Shivoham. It is 42 pounds. What do you call bow? It is made out of mahogany and ebony.
This is not
It's a
Indian,
beautiful
right?
bow. No, this is not Indian. So it's your basic traditional bow.
Okay.
This is made by a French boyer who was based in Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's customized for me.
Okay.
It's called Shivoham. That's the name of my bow. This is the guy I use. I mean, he's been with me for I don't know, 12 years maybe. He's been with me. Excellent stuff. No lamination, beauty.
So you're planning for a museum also?
I want to revive it. I have no
Yeah.
real plans. I've got a lot of collection. I've got bows from different places.
Okay.
But yes, because the place I have, the Archers Club, the place where we are located in Trivandrum, in near Nedimangar. So it's a 13, 14 acres estate. So we have the place for it. I have a library cum restaurant which is coming up. And there, yes, I would like that to be a center, the idea for it to be a center for the revival of the Indian traditional archery. I want the moment something like that is there, people of like-minded like me, I'm hoping will come outright and teach me, because I do not know. I'm trying to find out, and what I know, I'm willing to share.
Yes.
You know, I'm willing to share, and I feel if I can make a platform like that. Like I refuse to believe something that has been there for 4,000, 5,000 years and it's recorded has simply died away.
Yes.
And I feel it is there. It is there. It's just a matter of looking for it. I really feel that it will be amazing. Not the question of whether it will work or not or any of those kind of stuff. I mean, like things has to be done for the sake of doing it. If that is something, words have to be spoken for the sake of the words. Like if you want to sing, you should sing for the sake of singing. Like, you know, so every expression for us should be for the sake of it, not for the what it is going to bring. I do not know. But I feel there is something, there's a beauty in it, you know. And if that beauty is listened to or acknowledged by even one person, it gives amazing gratification to the one who is singing. But it's not the most important thing. So for me, doing any of this is because, hell, I like doing it. So if it helps, yeah, great. It's like, you know, so it's okay.
Very interesting. Like you are truly an inspiration, Praveen. There's so much to learn from you, and I'm overwhelmed to know your journey and all your ideas and beliefs. Thank you for sharing it with us today.